If you live in McCurtain County, down in the southeastern part of Oklahoma, you're probably familiar with this plant, the Red Buckeye. It's a small tree that gives us this beautiful display of red panicles of flowers here in the late spring, and really makes a nice addition to the landscape. Now, the native range of the Red Buckeye is the southeastern part of the United States. It does make it into the southeastern corner of Oklahoma. The trees are best suited to that part of the state, but you could try to grow one in the central or western part of Oklahoma if you apply some sulfur to your soil, make it acidic, and make sure you mulch the tree very well and keep it well watered during the summer months. You might be able to grow a decent Red Buckeye in your landscape, like this one here in our arboretum here in Stillwater. It would also be a good idea to position the Red Buckeye on either the north or the east side of a structure to keep it out of the hot southwestern winds. The Red Buckeye has the showy flowers, but the leaves of the plant are also quite interesting. They are palmately compound. And if you look at the structure here, this is one leaf made up of 5 leaflets, and it sort of looks like the palm of your hand. All the leaflets are attached at one spot. Now right here I've got the leaf of an ash, and you can see this is a compound leaf, one leaf made up of several leaflets, and they're all attached sort of like the arrangement of maybe a feather, where you have like a mid member or rib or rachis like we've got right here, and all the leaflets are attached along the rachis. But with the palmately compound leaf, they're all attached there at one point, like we have here with our Red Buckeye. The Red Buckeye is a small tree. It will only grow about 18 to 20 feet in the landscape, but under optimum conditions out in the wild, it can get to be 30 to 35 feet tall. But beautiful red flowers. The parts of the plant, all parts of the Red Buckeye are poisonous, so we don't want to be feeding on those or anything like that. But as you might guess, these bright red flowers are pollinated by hummingbirds. The saucer magnolia is sometimes referred to as the tulip tree or the tulip magnolia. But I've got another tree that I want to show you that is also called the tulip tree. This is it right here, this huge tree behind us. This is the tulip tree, sometimes known as the yellow poplar or the tulip poplar. And you can see why it's called tulip poplar. There are a number of reasons actually why it's called that, but the flowers themselves sort of look like a greenish colored tulip with these beautiful orange markings at the base of the petals. You can see the orange color from the inside, and you kind of see it through the petals on the outside. Beautiful, interesting, large flowers. The flowers aren't the only reason the tulip tree gets its name. If you look at a leaf, sort of in profile or the outline of the leaf, sort of resembles the flower of a tulip. We can think of the petiole or the little leaf stem here as the flower stem, and then this big wide tulip flower here at the top. Another reason this tree is called the tulip tree. The tulip tree is in the same family as our magnolias, and if you look at the flower, you can sort of see the resemblance of a magnolia flower. Right over here we've got a seed pod beginning to form. Also sort of looks like the multiple fruit of a magnolia. As this dries, it will come to resemble sort of an okra pod. It'll get a little bit bigger, and it'll sort of look like a dried okra pod, and then later in the fall it'll sort of open up or fan out and release those seeds. These trees are some of the largest of the North American deciduous trees we have. They are native to the East Coast, and under optimum conditions over there along the Atlantic coast, the trees can obtain heights of nearly 200 feet. I was in Delaware several years ago and saw some really large tulip poplars. They were probably close to 180, 200 feet tall, and 3 adults probably could not get their arms around the trunks of these huge trees. Now here in Oklahoma, they're going to be best suited to the eastern part of the state. That's because they enjoy a well-drained soil and they need plenty of moisture. Here on the north side of our nursery barn, we irrigate this area quite a bit, so this tulip tree is doing quite well. But an interesting tree, interesting flowers, interesting leaves, and a wonderful specimen to enjoy those flowers this time of year.